Okay, so I'd like to just start with discussing the values that you kind of identified through that values shuffle identification and see what's played out for you since then. Are you paying attention to your values and behaviors? Are you thinking more deeply about why you're doing what you're doing? What's going on? For me, I had a value clash. It was with my husband. And I'm not over it yet, and I don't know what to do with it yet. So Colton lives 3.5 hours away from us. And as we all know, currently, he's just now getting stabilized and so on and so forth. So when I go to visit, it's not like I can go to his house. So it's a little costly, get a hotel room, spend money on meals, those type of things. Well, Colton's on Wildfire, and he's 40 minutes down the street from me. And he reached out and said, Mom, can you come tomorrow night after I get off work and see me? Great. Yeah, I'll come. So when I came home, Jerry's been working hard. I know he's in pain. I know he doesn't feel good. I came home and I said, hey, Colton has invited us to go do this. He's just down the road. I really would like you to go. Would you go tonight? I heard, no, I'm not going. And I'm like, he's asked to see you a couple times. I really would like you to go. Would you please go tonight? No, I can't do that. All right. Yes, I was hurt. Yes, I was upset. I kept my mouth shut. I went and got ready, got in the car and left. I didn't even say goodbye. I get home and it's about midnight. I pull in. He's standing at the door and his first words were, I got to go get Dawn. So he proceeds to go down to the bar, and I don't know what time they got home, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I have no idea. So did Jerry choose not to go because he didn't feel good? No. Now, again, as I've contemplated this for a while, that may have been his initial reason for not going. And as we all know, several hours later go by, right? And the guys eat dinner and might have a cocktail, and then all of a sudden they decide that they're going out. Okay, so I understand new information comes in, new choices are made, and yet I'm still injured. And I know that that's about me, and I'll work through it. But again, to me, that was a huge value clash. Okay, my intention was to see Colton. I don't care what the circumstances were around it. His intentions were not the same. I just keep hoping for something that's not existent for him. And so we don't match value wise in this area. I'm moving from intention of ensuring, Colton feels cared for, loved, and appreciated. I value building that family unity relationship. Looking back and kind of looking at our past, I don't think that Jerry carries that same value in the same way. Not that he doesn't have the family value, he just doesn't carry it the same way. And we haven't had the conversation yet, and I don't even know if I will. Because remember, if you're upset, it's about you. Now, I can help him change intentions where he was probably more looking at this as an intention around Colton versus an intention around supporting me. So I'm still playing with it in my head, as you can see. But in the meantime, I'm keeping my mouth shut, everybody. Otherwise, I'm going to want to emotionally puke all over him. I'm very clear about what my intention is. But like I said, I think his intention is different, and he's coming from a male perspective in relationship to another male that has not treated his wife very well.
Right. And Colton is an adult acting and treating you the way that he is. And I can see where Jerry has a hard time with that.
Colton is recently being in better behavior and more compliant to your values in terms of the way he's treating you. And because you're his mom and you have such a strong intention to have a healthy, contributive relationship with him, you're willing to let that past go real fast. Not like it's not just there, that if he came up and was a butthead today, you wouldn't smack him down. But, again, your husband, who deems himself as your protector from all other men, doesn't matter who they are, or anyone else that treats you like crap, he's not going to put that mantle down nearly as quickly. And so that makes perfect sense. Look at whether your intention is for Jerry to have a similarly transformative relationship with Colton, because he may have no willingness or interest in doing that. Overall, you need him to at least be willing to understand that what I'm trying to do is build a lifelong relationship with my son, and to trust me to have boundaries to protect myself.
Yeah, and I think that brings the intention to clarity. And yet there's still a gap for me regarding that family dynamic that I was hoping and wishing for. And I'm finding it's an expectation. And as soon as we have an expectation, we're setting us all up for failure.
It might not be the family value that you guys aren't seeing eye to eye on. It's the difficulties that's taking you outside of what would be considered normal family values. And so you had to redefine it.
Yeah, that's a good point too, right? Is redefining what you think normal is.
And it doesn't mean the way that Jerry is acting right now is going to be forever.
Exactly. And then it's also dawned on me that it's the belief that's different. It's not necessarily the value that's different, because he also honors family. I know that. I see it. I experience that. But it's the belief on how we get there might be the shift and the difference.
Yeah, he may be coming from a place that, you do me wrong a couple times, I push you out to a different level. And until there's a lot of proving, I'm not going to pull you back. Once you're in the shit house, you're going to be there for a while.
Go ahead, Brita.
You actually very recently helped me move from being emotionally driven to intentional. It was our conversation about Madeline. I was really coming from emotion through the court stuff, and this is my baby. I still want to spend time with her, but that's not where she is. I needed to get into a different place. I really kind of stepped back and thought about it. And I was like, why am I doing this? Because of me, for me, not for her.
Yeah, thank you for that, Brita. So those of you who kind of need a background on that, Brita's fighting for visitation and custody with her preteen daughter. So as much as she wants interaction with the preteen, doesn't mean the preteen's ready for interaction. And through a lot of series of questioning, Brita and I were able to narrow down really what is the intention. Instead of all these visitations and you got to come see me and this is what I need from you, she really narrowed it down to being really comfortable with the intention of just connecting and having that connection unsupervised. Now, knowing what her clear intention is, she's going to have a much better success rate in court because she's very clear and determined on what she wants.
The more that I kind of think about it, the more comfortable I've gotten. I actually got an interview that she got of what she wanted and what her thoughts and stuff were. And she talked about how it was a pain in the butt to have these 3 telephone conversations a week, and that we didn't really talk about much. It really made me realize how I'm not in importance in her world right now. I actually stepped back from 2 phone calls this week.
You bring a really good point in, is that it becomes a pain in the butt for the children. And because now we're interrupting their values. Okay. And their values might be playing softball and you're interrupting softball practice. I can't imagine, Brita, what that felt like to read that interview.
Yeah. And she also had said, that her and her dad play a lot of sports together and they're really sporty. And with me being sick, that I just sit at home all the time, and that she doesn't really know what we would do together, which is, totally valid too. If I still am consistently there, we're on my end and showing that I care and letting her know that I'm there, then hopefully we'll get to a place that we can reconnect one day.
And you use some really powerful words that I want everybody to pick up. The first thing you said is for right now. Okay, it doesn't mean this is going to be a relationship forever. It just is for right
Mhm.
now. And in the meantime, we've just got to keep ourselves comfortable and not, create a false reality for it.
I just really want to acknowledge you for your willingness to hear what Penny's conversation was, but then be willing to shift something that as a parent has to be really, really hard. We're talking about also, it occurred to me that this person who's giving you the feedback, your daughter, she's not got executive function.
Yeah, she's
We're
definitely,
talking about, her being out there being sporty with her dad. In terms of her values, that's top of the heap. When she says, what would I do if I go over to mom's? It's not about you at all.
Now, when we talk about relationships, when you feel like it's one-sided, and that's kind of like what Britta's talking about, it's what I'm talking about, and what Colton was experiencing, it's kind of a one-sided affair, and it can really clash with our values. And then we can start thinking it and create something that's really not there.
yeah, and you get stuck in that. I was really stuck in that. And I have been for years.
So when it comes to those value identifications, we've got to remember that there's multiple layers to those values. And it's not just as simple as I value family. And for me, I was raised, you value family. Well, guess what? I moved away from family. It took me many years to realize family is not what I value. I value my relationship with individuals. I value that friendship. I value our time together, but it has nothing to do with the group. So to me, it's more about the individual relationship.
I think it's interesting to notice that when you just said when you were growing up, an inserted value was I value family, and yet you left those people. But earlier in this conversation, you said one of the reasons you were mad at Jerry is because he doesn't value family the way you value family. So what I hear is you're judging him from a value that's actually not even your value anymore.
Great catch, Ray. And think about how often are we doing that throughout our day, walking around judging other people based on a value we think we have that we're not even true. Thanks for pulling that out, Ray. That's really important.